Mass layoffs are no longer hitting factories first, they're hitting corporate offices. Professionals with college degrees, six-figure salaries, and years of experience are suddenly finding themselves unemployed. Today, we're breaking down exactly why this is happening and what it means for millions of Americans. For decades, many Americans believed office jobs were safer than factory, retail, transportation, or construction. A college degree and a corporate title seem to offer protection during downturns. In 2026, that belief is breaking down. Employers are cutting software developers, recruiters, marketers, accountants, consultants, designers, analysts, human resources staff, and corporate managers. The scale is significant. United States employers announced 45,849 job cuts in June 2026 alone. Technology companies accounted for 15,503 of those cuts, pushing the sector's total to 139,156 layoffs during the first 6 months of the year, 83% higher than the same period in 2025. Technology represented nearly one-third of all announced job cuts through June. Several forces are hitting professional workers at once. Companies are trying to control payroll while spending enormous sums on artificial intelligence infrastructure, cloud computing, and specialized chips. Businesses are also correcting years of aggressive hiring from a period of low interest rates and surging digital demand. When growth slowed, many organizations found they had too many departments, overlapping roles, and management layers. This is why profitable companies can eliminate thousands of jobs without being close to bankruptcy. Layoffs increasingly aim to raise margins and redirect money toward technologies executives believe will drive future growth. The danger is that these cuts are not limited to a temporary recession. Many positions are permanently redesigned or removed, and white-collar employees are learning that corporate profitability no longer guarantees individual job security. The current layoff cycle is not driven only by struggling startups. Some of America's largest and most powerful corporations are eliminating major numbers of professional positions, which is alarming since these businesses were once considered destination employers, offering stable, long-term careers. Amazon confirmed 16,000 corporate job cuts in January 2026. Combined with an earlier reduction, the company's broader restructuring plan involved approximately 30,000 positions, equal to nearly 10% of its corporate workforce. The reductions touched Amazon Web Services, retail operations, devices, and human resources. Amazon later confirmed additional cuts in its robotics and artificial general intelligence teams, showing that even advanced technology divisions were not protected. Meta carried out an even broader transformation. In May 2026, the company laid off approximately 10% of its global workforce, while shifting about 7,000 employees into projects tied to AI workflows. Altogether, the layoffs and transfers affected roughly 20% of Meta's workforce. Microsoft announced approximately 4,800 cuts in July, equal to around 2.1% of its workforce, while reorganizing commercial operations and the Xbox gaming division. LinkedIn also planned to eliminate approximately 5% of its employees, or around 875 positions, even after reporting quarterly revenue growth of 12%. These examples reveal an important truth. Layoffs are no longer simply evidence that a company is failing. Corporations are cutting healthy divisions and reducing headcount while revenue is still growing. For workers, strong company earnings may protect shareholders far more than employees, reshaping how job security is now understood. Artificial intelligence is becoming one of the most important forces behind the restructuring of white-collar employment, though its impact is more complicated than a robot simply taking one job. In many cases, AI lets a smaller team complete work that once needed a larger department. When productivity rises, companies may stop hiring replacements, combine roles, or eliminate entry-level positions. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas reported that AI was the leading stated reason for United States job cuts for 4 consecutive months through June 2026. By the end of April, employers had explicitly linked 49,135 announced cuts to AI, representing approximately 16% of all layoffs reported during the first 4 months of the year. In April alone, AI was cited in 21,490 job cuts, more than 1 out of every 4 announced reductions that month. AI can now draft reports, write and review code, summarize documents, prepare marketing copy, answer customer questions, analyze spreadsheets, screen applicants, and generate presentations. These are tasks traditionally performed by junior analysts, administrative workers, customer support employees, recruiters, and entry-level developers. The evidence requires careful interpretation. A March 2026 Federal Reserve study found no clear evidence that companies with higher AI adoption had reduced overall job postings more than other firms. At the same time, the Federal Reserve's April Beige Book reported that some businesses were already using AI-related productivity gains to delay or reduce hiring, a quieter shift that may reshape the labor market even more than visible layoffs. One of the most vulnerable groups in the current corporate restructuring is middle management. These workers sit between senior executives and frontline employees, supervising teams, coordinating projects, approving decisions, preparing reports, managing meetings, tracking performance, and communicating instructions across departments. Companies increasingly describe their restructuring using phrases such as reducing bureaucracy, flattening the organization, increasing ownership, and moving faster. Behind that language sits a simple financial calculation. Managers are often among the more highly paid employees, and removing one management layer can eliminate salaries, bonuses, benefits, administrative support, and meeting time all at once. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy has repeatedly pushed the company to reduce bureaucracy and unnecessary processes. The company created a system allowing employees to flag inefficiencies, receiving approximately 1,500 submissions that reportedly produced more than 450 operational changes. Amazon's restructuring also targeted management layers as part of its broader plan involving 30,000 corporate job cuts. Artificial intelligence strengthens this trend because software can now produce dashboards, summarize meetings, track deadlines, analyze employee output, create schedules, and generate status reports. These tools do not eliminate the need for leadership, but they reduce the number of people required to coordinate information across teams. The risk extends beyond managers. When companies eliminate middle management, remaining employees often inherit larger workloads and report to supervisors responsible for much bigger teams, receiving less training and fewer chances at promotion. Entry-level employees can also lose the traditional career ladder that once let them move gradually into leadership, a structural change reshaping how corporations develop future leaders. Layoff announcements receive headlines because they contain dramatic numbers, but the weakening of white-collar employment is also happening quietly through hiring freezes. A company can shrink its workforce without announcing another mass layoff, simply by leaving vacant positions unfilled or restricting hiring to a few priority areas. Microsoft provided a clear example in March 2026 when it reportedly froze hiring across major cloud and sales groups. The restriction was not company-wide, since divisions developing products such as Copilot kept recruiting. This illustrates the new pattern. Businesses are not stopping all hiring. They are moving headcount away from traditional departments toward AI, infrastructure, cybersecurity, and specialized technical work. The Federal Reserve reported in April that most of its 12 districts had not yet experienced a major overall staffing reduction directly linked to AI. Nevertheless, some companies said AI-driven productivity let them delay or reduce hiring. That distinction matters, since the labor market can deteriorate for applicants, even while official layoff numbers appear manageable. January 2026 demonstrated how weak new hiring could become during a month of major cuts. Employers announced 108,435. Planned layoffs, the highest January total since 2009 and 205% higher than the previous month. During the same period, employers announced plans to hire only 5,306 workers. This imbalance helps explain why some laid-off professionals remain unemployed, even while government data describes the labor market as relatively stable. The hidden crisis is the shrinking number of comparable positions available to absorb them. Remote work has not disappeared, but workers who depend on fully remote employment face a much more difficult market. In March 2026, approximately 22.6% of United States employees worked remotely for at least part of the week, meaning most were still working on-site while remaining remote openings attracted applicants from across the country instead of one local area. The important distinction is between existing remote workers and available remote jobs. A professional may currently work from home, but finding another comparable remote position after a layoff can be difficult, since one employer can receive applications from workers in dozens of states. Older LinkedIn research showed this imbalance clearly, with remote roles attracting 47% of applications on the platform during one measured period, while hybrid roles received only 19%. Although that measurement predates 2026, the underlying problem remains relevant, since remote jobs can attract a disproportionately large share of job seekers. Return-to-office policies also give companies another way to reduce headcount. Instead of announcing layoffs, an employer may require workers to report to an office several days per week. Employees who moved away, cannot relocate, or were hired remotely may resign voluntarily, reducing payroll without recording every departure as a layoff. Research involving 68 technology-related organizations found that 85% allowed some hybrid work, but 51% required specific office days, and 28% had tightened policies further. Remote work has changed from an emergency-era norm into a limited benefit companies can restrict or remove. During corporate restructuring, the most expensive worker is not always the safest one. Experienced employees may hold valuable knowledge, but they also carry larger salaries, bonuses, healthcare costs, retirement contributions, stock awards, and severance obligations. When executives are ordered to cut costs quickly, eliminating fewer highly compensated positions can produce larger immediate savings than cutting many junior employees. Consider a manager earning $160,000 annually. After payroll taxes, health benefits, retirement contributions, bonuses, and stock compensation are included, the employer's total cost may be considerably higher than the base salary. A company may redistribute that manager's responsibilities among remaining staff, replace the position with a lower-paid worker, move the work overseas, or automate part of the job. This does not mean every experienced employee is a target. Highly specialized workers who directly generate revenue, protect critical systems, maintain customer relationships, or hold scarce technical knowledge may remain valuable. The greatest risk often falls on well-paid employees whose duties appear duplicative, administrative, or hard to connect directly to revenue. The pressure is visible across professional and business services. In June 2026, approximately 773,000 wage and salary workers from that broad sector were. The industry's unemployment rate stood at 3.8%, up from 5% in February. Those figures may not seem catastrophic, but they hide the difficulty of replacing a senior-level income. For white-collar families, the danger is salary compression, the possibility the next job pays significantly less while housing, childcare, insurance, and debt payments remain unchanged. American office workers are no longer competing only with professionals in their own cities. Improvements in cloud technology, video communication, project management software, cybersecurity, and international payment systems have made it easier for businesses to distribute professional work across several countries. The jobs exposed to offshoring now extend far beyond call centers. Companies can move software development, accounting, payroll processing, financial analysis, graphic design, legal research, engineering support, customer service, data management, and administrative work to lower-cost labor markets. Research from Revelio Labs found offshore hiring was growing 4 times faster than domestic hiring in some industries. Its analysis also found that when offshore wages were approximately 10% lower than comparable United States wages, offshore employment tended to grow about 13.1 percentage points faster than onshore employment. The cost difference can be much larger than 10% for certain positions. A company may hire several overseas employees for the total cost of one United States-based professional, particularly after American healthcare expenses, payroll taxes, and retirement benefits are included. Not every job can be moved overseas. Jobs involving classified information, strict licensing requirements, physical equipment, sensitive customer relationships, specialized local regulations, or frequent in-person interaction are harder to offshore. However, work completed entirely through a laptop is far more exposed. Artificial intelligence makes this model more powerful, helping international employees improve written English, summarize meetings, translate documents, generate code, and work across time zones. The result is not one dramatic announcement, but a quiet, ongoing shift, one department and one replacement decision at a time. A college degree still improves lifetime employment and earnings prospects for many Americans, but it no longer guarantees immediate access to a secure, stable white-collar job. Recent graduates are entering one of the most confusing labor markets in years, where the overall unemployment rate remains moderate, yet entry-level professional hiring has weakened considerably. The unemployment rate for young college graduates rose from approximately 4% in July 2023 to 5.3% in March 2026. During the same period, the overall unemployment rate increased much more slowly, meaning newly educated workers experienced a sharper deterioration than the broader workforce. Another 2026 analysis placed unemployment among recent college graduates at approximately 5.6%, compared with 4.2% for the overall workforce. Nearly half of recent graduates were reportedly working in jobs that did not require a degree, a form of underemployment that can reduce earnings and delay career development. Hiring has weakened across every one of the 20 most popular college majors compared with December 2019. Engineering graduates experienced the largest reported decline, approximately 25%, while health professions and education experienced smaller declines of around 16%. One major reason is that entry-level office work is changing. Junior employees traditionally prepared basic reports, researched information, formatted presentations, reviewed documents, entered data, or wrote simple code. AI can now assist with many of these tasks, encouraging employers to hire fewer beginners, which creates a career ladder with a missing first step for graduates who need practical experience just to get an interview. A white-collar layoff can destroy a household budget faster than many expect. Professionals earning high salaries often carry equally high fixed expenses, including mortgages, car payments, childcare, student loans, insurance, credit cards, and lifestyle commitments. When the paycheck disappears, these bills do not automatically decrease. Health insurance can become the largest immediate problem. The average annual employer-sponsored premium in 2025 was $9,325 for individual coverage and $26,993 for family coverage. Workers, $3 for family coverage. Workers with family plans contributed an average of $6,850 from their own paychecks, while employers covered much of the remaining cost. After a layoff, workers may continue their employer plan through COBRA, but can be required to pay nearly the entire premium themselves. A family that previously paid roughly $571 monthly through payroll deductions could suddenly face a total premium averaging more than $2,200 monthly, depending on the plan. This helps explain why employer-sponsored healthcare often creates job loss. A 2026 Gallup analysis estimated that approximately 23 million American adults stayed in jobs they did not want because they feared losing health coverage. Among workers who considered healthcare a major financial burden, 48% reported staying in an unwanted job. Severance is not legally guaranteed in every layoff. Unemployment benefits usually replace only part of a former salary, and stock awards may stop vesting. A single layoff can erase years of savings and permanently alter a family's financial future. Losing a white-collar job is more than a financial setback. It can become a psychological crisis. Many professionals build their identity around their careers. Job titles, promotions, workplace relationships, and years of education often become tied to self-worth. So when employment suddenly ends, many workers experience shock, anxiety, grief, and uncertainty. Research consistently shows that unemployment is associated with significantly higher rates of depression and anxiety than employment. A large meta-analysis published in The Lancet found that unemployed adults have substantially higher odds of experiencing mental health disorders than employed individuals, and longer periods without work generally increase emotional distress. The emotional impact is often intensified for white-collar professionals because layoffs are frequently unexpected. Many employees receive positive performance reviews only weeks before learning their position has been eliminated. Others watch entire departments disappear despite strong company profits. This creates confusion and damages confidence, making job interviews even more stressful. There are also family consequences. Income loss can increase conflict over finances, delay retirement plans, postpone buying a home, and place additional strain on marriages and relationships. Parents may have to hide financial problems from their children while also searching for work. Long job searches create another challenge. Professionals who once received recruiter calls every week may suddenly submit hundreds of applications with few responses, often questioning their abilities, even when layoffs stemmed from broad restructuring rather than poor performance. Mental health experts emphasize that maintaining routines, networking, exercising, and seeking professional support when needed can help protect emotional well-being during this difficult transition. Although many office jobs are being eliminated, not every sector of the United States economy is actually shrinking. Some industries continue adding workers because they face long-term labor shortages, demographic changes, or rising demand that shows no sign of slowing down. Healthcare remains one of the strongest areas for employment growth. According to the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, healthcare occupations are projected to add nearly 1.9 million jobs between 2023 and 2033, more than any other occupational group, as an aging population continues increasing demand for nurses, medical technicians, therapists, physician assistants, and home health workers. Construction and infrastructure also remain relatively strong in many regions. Large federal investments in roads, bridges, semiconductor manufacturing, clean energy, and public infrastructure continue creating demand for electricians, plumbers, heavy equipment operators, welders, and skilled trades workers across the country. Cybersecurity remains another bright spot. As cyber attacks become more frequent, businesses continue investing in security analysts, cloud security engineers, compliance specialists, and digital risk management professionals. Artificial intelligence is changing many office jobs, but it is creating demand for AI engineers, machine learning specialists, data infrastructure experts, and AI governance professionals. Advanced manufacturing is expanding as companies invest in semiconductor and domestic supply chains. Several large fabrication plants announced across the United States continue hiring engineers, technicians, maintenance specialists, and manufacturing professionals in growing numbers. For workers considering career transitions, the strongest opportunities increasingly exist where skills are difficult to automate, difficult to offshore, or essential to maintaining physical infrastructure and public services well into the future. Many observers simply assume layoffs will end as soon as the economy improves. However, several structural trends suggest corporate workforce reductions could continue well beyond 2026, reshaping how companies think about hiring for years to come. The first key factor is productivity. Companies investing billions of dollars in artificial intelligence expect measurable returns. Once businesses discover they can produce similar output with fewer employees, executives have financial incentives to maintain leaner organizations, even if revenue begins growing again. Second, interest rates remain much higher than during the decade before 2022. Higher borrowing costs encourage companies to focus on efficiency rather than aggressive expansion, and businesses become more selective about hiring because financing acquisitions, office construction, and large payroll increases has become more expensive. Third, globalization continues increasing labor competition. Companies now recruit professional talent from multiple countries while using AI tools to improve collaboration across time zones, making international staffing easier than ever before for even mid-sized organizations. Several major consulting firms have argued that AI will reshape millions of knowledge worker tasks over the coming decade rather than during a single year, a transformation expected to occur gradually as businesses redesign workflows instead of replacing entire departments overnight. Another issue involves demographics. As experienced employees retire, some organizations may decide not to refill every position, and remaining workers supported by AI systems may absorb additional responsibilities instead. Economic forecasts always involve uncertainty, but many analysts believe the current environment reflects a long-term restructuring of how companies organize work, invest in technology, and allocate labor costs going forward. Mass layoffs receive most of the headlines, but companies often reduce labor costs through less visible strategies that never appear in major news reports, quietly reshaping the workplace for millions of employees across the country. Hiring freezes are one example. Instead of replacing departing employees, organizations simply leave positions vacant, and existing workers inherit additional responsibilities, allowing payroll costs to decline naturally over time without any formal announcement. Many companies also reduce contract workers before cutting permanent employees. Contractors, consultants, temporary staff, and freelance professionals can often be released quickly without the severance obligations associated with full-time employees, making them an easy first target. Another common strategy involves reducing annual bonuses, limiting salary increases, delaying promotions, and tightening performance evaluations. Employees may technically keep their jobs while experiencing slower income growth and heavier workloads than before, often without realizing the scale of the change. Voluntary buyout programs represent another cost-saving tool. Companies offer financial incentives, encouraging experienced workers to retire early or resign voluntarily. Because departures appear voluntary, organizations can reduce staff without announcing traditional layoffs at all. Businesses may also reorganize departments, merge teams, centralize administrative functions, or relocate operations to lower-cost cities. None of these changes necessarily generate dramatic headlines, yet each can significantly reduce payroll expenses over time. Executives frequently describe these actions using terms such as operational efficiency, business optimization, organizational simplification, or resource realignment. For investors, these measures may improve profitability, but for workers, they often create larger workloads, slower career advancement, fewer internal opportunities, and greater uncertainty about future employment prospects. As the labor market changes, many professionals are rethinking the way they view careers. Instead of relying entirely on one employer, workers increasingly focus on building multiple income sources and continuously updating their skills to stay competitive. Freelancing has become one popular option. Professionals in software development, accounting, marketing, design, consulting, and education increasingly combine contract work with traditional employment. While freelancing often provides less stability, it can reduce dependence on a single company and its decisions. Many workers are also investing in certifications rather than additional degrees. Cybersecurity credentials, cloud computing certifications, project management qualifications, AI training, and specialized technical programs can often be completed faster and at lower cost than graduate school. Artificial intelligence itself has become an important career skill. Employees who understand how to use AI tools effectively often increase their productivity instead of competing against the technology. Learning prompt engineering, workflow automation, data analysis, and AI-assisted research may become valuable across many industries in the years ahead. Networking has also become increasingly important. A significant share of professional opportunities continue to be filled through referrals rather than public job postings. So, maintaining relationships with former coworkers, clients, mentors, and professional associations can improve access to opportunities that never appear online. Some professionals are also building small businesses, creating digital products, investing in online education, or developing additional income streams through consulting and entrepreneurship. The common theme is flexibility, since workers who continuously learn, diversify income, and adapt to change are generally better positioned than those expecting one employer to provide lifelong security. The future of white-collar employment is unlikely to resemble the workplace that existed before the pandemic. Artificial intelligence, automation, globalization, demographic change, and evolving corporate priorities are permanently reshaping how office work is performed across nearly every industry. Many routine knowledge tasks will probably become increasingly automated. Instead of replacing every employee, AI will likely change job descriptions. Workers may spend less time creating basic reports and more time making decisions, solving complex problems, managing relationships, and supervising AI-generated work. Career paths may also become less predictable. Rather than remaining with one company for decades, professionals may change employers more frequently, combine full-time work with consulting, or develop multiple income sources throughout their careers as circumstances shift. Employers are placing greater value on adaptability than on narrow specialization. Skills such as communication, leadership, critical thinking, technical literacy, cybersecurity awareness, and AI collaboration may become more valuable than memorizing routine procedures that software can now perform instead. The overall labor market will continue creating jobs even while eliminating others. Throughout American history, technological revolutions have displaced certain occupations while creating entirely new industries. Though the challenge during the transition is that workers must often acquire new skills before those opportunities become available. For millions of professionals, the biggest question is no longer whether change is coming, it is how quickly they can adapt to it. The companies that thrive will likely be those combining technology with skilled human talent, and the workers who succeed may be those who learn how to work alongside it rather than resist it. The future of white-collar work isn't coming someday. It's already here, and millions of Americans are living through it right now. Have you seen layoffs, hiring freezes, or major changes where you work? And if you want to understand what's happening next in America's economy, click on the next video on your screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.